Nants, indod, omxhosa, idyan, ngokwayo. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your man, Joy Nida. And if you didn't know, well, now you've been put on. So today, guys, I just want to tell the story of my first tattoo, because I put up a poll on my Instagram story asking which story you'd rather hear, the one about my first tattoo, or how I fucked up my friend's after party the year they were doing their matric. But it was a 50-50 split, so I'm going to tell both stories, but not going to post them the same day. So I want to tell the story quickly, because the last time I tried to film the story, it kind of went on, it became a little too long, plus I got a little aggressive at the end, considering that there was some controversy around the fact that I had gotten a tattoo, or around the fact that the design involves the name of a woman. And this was coming from people who I know. Some of them I even considered friends. But then none of them actually came up to me and asked me about it. Which is why I decided rather, let me just retell the story in a more positive light, so that I'm not becoming passive aggressive at the end. And I'm going to tell you quickly, because I don't want to take up too much of your time or stay on the subject for too long. So this is what happens. I transferred from Cambridge in 2016 to St. John's College. Fine. Now, coming to the end of the year where we're preparing for the end of year exams, I meet this girl. I'd seen her prior, but I paid no attention to her because I'd see her in passing. Now, this girl, let's just call her Wonder Woman for the sake of the story. Now, Wonder Woman is with a friend of mine, which is also a friend. It's a mutual friend. Let's call this friend X. So now friend X and Wonder Woman come up to me, not me specifically, but we were in each other's paths. Now, considering that friend X and myself are friends, we stand and talk. Wonder Woman's present. And when I looked at her, I saw the most beautiful eyes I'd ever seen. And I'd seen some great eyes in my lifetime. But her eyes were different, man. And she was this dark-skinned, beautiful girl. Like, you could tell that this is a melanin queen. Like, it was one of those dark chocolate types of things, bro. Like, the type of chocolate you'd want to enjoy whether you were having a good day, or you'd enjoy when you're having a bad day. It's coming from, like, she wasn't that type of chocolate that had too much cocoa that annoyed you. She was like the perfect balance in the dark chocolate that, like, yeah, this is a real prize. Like, this is amazing. So she took my interest immediately without having said anything. But now this is the thing. Friend X is introducing us to each other. So I'm that guy who thought it was a play at the time, but considering that I almost instantaneously fell for this Wonder Woman, I was stuck. But what do I do? Do I make my move, or how do I go forward? So what happens is we kind of talk, and then I get a little cheeky. I'm looking at Wonder Woman because I remember this is the first thing I ever said to her directly. Well, indirectly, but towards her. I'm looking at Wonder Woman, but talking to friend X, I say, uzuxelela ichomi yakho uba ndiyamrhalela, but ungamxeleli namhlanje, umxelele ngemini xa ndingekho. This whole time I'm looking at Wonder Woman saying this nonsense while talking to friend X, so I know that she would get the message because it's directed at her. Time goes by, the year ends, come 2017. I realize I'm toxic to the point where if I actually date this girl, I'm gonna fuck everything up. Like, cause I had a reputation, I was a cheater, I was a player. Barely anyone wanted to touch me. Like, everyone knew what was up when you'd hear my name. So I figured to myself, why risk losing such a queen in a bad time rather than waiting for a better time where I become a better man? I'm solid. I'm not toxic anymore. I'm a solid boyfriend. So I figured, let me just be a friend. We become friends, good friends. And the year goes by, we're just friends, we talk here and there. I wasn't always in her space, she wasn't always in mine. So it was one of those things where when we bump into each other, we'd have that minor laugh, see her smile, her eyes glow up. I'd feel good. everything was nice. That year I failed my grade 11. I reran my grade 11 the following year. Now she's caught up to me because she was a grade behind. We're in the same grade. But that year she supports me to keep my head up, not lose hope just because I'd stumbled in my academic endeavors. She keeps me motivated, she keeps me in check. Whenever I had like we became close to such a point I told her, yeah, I see you as my best friend. Like you are truly my rock, you my heaven on earth, you are my everything. Like there's nothing that I had done that year that she didn't know about. Whether I was getting a girlfriend, I was changing girlfriends, whether I cheated on a girl, excuse me, she'd find out about the cheating because I wouldn't directly tell her that I cheated on a girl because she was a woman I valued and I didn't want her to look at me in that negative light. So time goes by, I confess my love to her. I tell her that I love her, blah 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 blah. I can't remember exactly her response, but she was open to what I was telling her. I remember the gist of the conversation, but yeah, the conversation is going, it's flowing. I'm comfortable in telling her what's happening, but I then proposed that let's not date now. Now, I'm proposing this as if I had a guarantee she was gonna say yes, which I didn't. But because I was so hopeful and in love with the woman she is, I was like, you know what? Let's not date now. How about we finish high school? Try find life post high school where we know that we are not in a toxic environment where the school lives off of a hookup culture before a hookup culture was a thing. You know, like umtyelo was a lifestyle at St. John's. So I didn't want it to become a situation where all the guys I've done wrong would target me when I thought I'd found a good woman. So we agree about, okay, post high school we can try. But now time goes by, we're best friends, I'm dating all these other girls. Whenever I need help I talk to her, whenever I'm feeling down I talk to her. So now come her 18th birthday, because her birthday was in December, school's already closed, I'm home. So I ask her, what do you want for your birthday? She's like, I don't really know, man. I don't have anything specific I want for my birthday. I just like something meaningful. So I think to myself, but you know what? There's no other way to show someone you love them than to show them they have a permanent place in your heart. Which is why I ended up with something like that. I promised to get her name tattooed on my chest, which I did, but I did almost 2 to 3 years later. Fine. I go by time, we kind of lose contact, but we regain, then we lose, and then we regain. But for me, it was more of a character thing because I had made the promise. So I wanted to fulfill the promise. So I think last year I moved to Durban to start a course in business. First thing I do, my parents drop me off, my cousin shows me around the building I'm gonna live in. I go out, grab a few pans, a pot, some groceries, but I'm like, yeah chief, you're in the land of the dreams, Durban, where you can do almost anything and nobody's gonna judge you for it because this is where you experience life, Durban. So okay, fine, I asked my cousin, Ella, where's the nearest tattoo parlor? Then we go around like 3 or 4. Like the first 2 were closed, out of business. The third one was closed to open the following day because it was a public holiday when I landed in Durban. The fourth one, lucky enough, was open. So I tell this guy, this is what I want to get. So he seems confused on the design. So I'm like, yeah man, I've had this idea in my head for some time. So I try to draw it out and then he's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna draw up some designs for you. I'm gonna send them to you via WhatsApp. You confirm which one you like so that when you come in to do the tattoo, we hit the ground running. So I'm like, it's chill, my bro. Do the designs. How much do I owe you? He's like, nah, brah. Since it's a design you came up with yourself, I'm gonna give you a bit of a discount. But you know, there's a specific price for getting names and whatever. I'm like, okay, it's cool. Then I leave. My cousin keeps asking me, who is this? Who is this? So I spin her a lie, which was fine. So the very next morning, this guy's like, okay, I'm good at the design, you can come through. I go through, I get it done. Pay the front desk. The first person I hit up after that was a close friend of mine, because I value, I appreciate my close friends. So the first person that came to mind was Umayong, Teddy Mayong, one of my closest friends, because he'd been through some of the things I'd been through. He was there along the journey, and he knew how much I valued Wonder Woman. So he was the first person I hit up by. Hey, Chief, there's no A, B, C, and D, because he's the one friend that I know he doesn't judge me. Like the 3 or 4 friends who don't judge me but support the things that I do, same way I do with them. But the first person that came to mind that day was Teddy Mayong. So I hit up Mayong by, Mamela Chief, this is A, B, and C. I sent him a few photos. Like, yeah, into him, and I explained the story to him by, hey, like, this is what was happening. You know the backstory and all that, yeah. Now, I wait an hour before I hit up Wonder Woman. But then I actually do. I hit her up. I send her some pictures. Because I first asked her, do you remember what I promised to get you for your 18th birthday? She's like, no, remind me, what's up? So I actually reminded her, I promised to get your name tattooed on my chest. And I did. Here are the pictures. She was a little speechless, to say the least. But she stumbled on a few words, but she was surprised in the most that I actually did it, because I genuinely believe that most people would think you're bluffing when you promise to get their name tattooed on your body as a birthday gift. But for me, it was a character trait. But I made you a promise. I want to live up to that promise. Plus, I want to show you that I truly appreciate all the efforts you've made in my life. You've kept me afloat through some dark times. You've kept me sane. You've kept me sober. You steered me away from drugs, because in the dog pit that I was in, I could have ventured into drugs to find a relief system, but you were there to keep me sane. You always gave me the option of someone to talk to, someone to run to when things were getting hard, and for me, that was something I valued dearly. So I lived up to my promise. But here's where things get messy. I send it to another friend after he hears something. Hela, what's up? He was checking on me, hela, I won't love. So like, I'm on Dumo now. ABC, I did this and this, so I think it comes to the point where it goes into the group chat with the guys, because my high school roommates, we were friends, we had a group chat. So it comes to that point where the photo is sent to the group chat with all the guys we lived in. So now one specific person leaks the photo to another group, and that's where the shit hit the fan, because it started spreading around. People who knew me, that I went to high school with, and they all started bickering and asking each other questions behind my back. Hela, why would he do that? Why would he put a name of a girl on his chest? Don't you think that's gonna affect his sex life? Blah 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 blah. He's never dated her. Why would he do that? Blah blah blah. So those were the type of questions that I would get feedback on, like from my close friends. But Hela, so and so is asking me about your situation, which for me showed that not everyone that's a friend is a real friend. Because if you were a real friend, you were like, gee, okay, I sent the picture to who and who. What's good? That would have been fine. But this thing of going behind my back and then coming back to pretend to be my friend and telling me who and who is asking about your situation when you're the one who brought them into my situation. So why can't you answer those questions on your own? Because you created that new scenario without me. Me, I kept a promise. I worked on my character building. That's all it was. A present, appreciation, and genuine love for a person who had a big role in me overcoming a dark space and a toxic mentality. But I understand that's going to be a conversation for another day, where people actually own up to the fact that they couldn't come to me, yet they call me their friend. But it's all told, because I'm past that. If you're not brave enough to come to me, it's your problem. Because if you wanted to know what's happening in my life, you would have asked me. But now you can't come to me, which sounds like a what? A you problem. So all in all, guys, I got a tattoo. It's on my chest. There. Present. It's gonna be there for life. It is a woman's name. I've had encounters where some of the girls that I had been intimate with in Durban asked me, "Who's this? What's happening?" I tell them, "Yeah, it's a woman's name. It's not my mother. It's not my sister. It is of a woman that I love. It is a woman you will never be able to replace. So don't even try to compete." You see, excuse me. So I would make it clear to him that if you have a problem, it's fine. We go our separate ways. But if you can endure, let's have the best of times. So that's the situation, because I want to tell the story in a way that I don't even have to edit this video. I just want to post up so that people can actually get closure for the things they could never ask me, and then we can all move on, because I'm beyond the point of keeping explaining myself when I bump into this guy or this girl that I knew from my past. Hela, I heard you did this. I heard you got a tattoo. Hela, I'm just gonna get lots of tattoos. Maybe some are gonna be from other women. Maybe it's gonna be a brotherhood thing. I don't know, but I know I'm gonna get more tattoos. I have things I have in the pipeline that I want to do. But the fact that you guys are so caught up on the fact that I got a tattoo of a woman is what baffles me, because I know my parents don't like tattoos, but they have become understanding when my father says, "Bah, nah, I understand. If someone wants to get a tattoo, it's their personal choice," which for me works fine because I'd already gotten one. Because my little brother was asking him, "Bah, what do you think of tattoos?" Because he wants to get tattoos now, because I've opened that door. So my parents like, "Yeah, it's a personal choice," and it was a personal choice for me, because I really loved Wonder Woman. Well, I still do. It's just that I understand that the life we're on are two different paths that are not really bound to cross again, which is okay for me, because I genuinely felt something. I loved a woman without condition. She supported me through so much. I appreciate her. It wasn't even a matter of I loved her because she was my saving grace. No, she became my saving grace when I had already loved her. So you see, it's one of those things. But I'm done. This is the last time I talk about the fact that I have this tattoo. To her friends, to my friends, it has happened. It will forever be there. Nothing's gonna change. If you have a problem, that's a you problem. Get over it. Find something to do. I'm done. I am beat, because I have been crossed by so many friends that I thought were my actual friends. Which for me now is a point where I rebuild who I am. I rebuild Joynida, and I find my feet in this world, and I hit the ground running. So guys, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. I have content I want to make, but my mind is so flooded with all these controversial issues that revolve around my life, that I want to get these stories out of the way so that I can actually entertain you guys. So if you're new, subscribe. If you're returning subscribers, thank you. I love the support. Please like the video. If you have any questions or anything you want to know about, leave me a comment in the comment section below, or hit me up. If you have my number, you can WhatsApp me. If you have my Instagram, DM me. Whatever you want to do it so we can move past the situation, because I'm done. I'm happy with my choice. I will live with my choice for the rest of my days. I will never get it erased. That's a promise to myself, and that's a promise to the world. So until next time, guys. I won't want to nonsense. But until next time, guys. From me, it's love and light. Peace.